Hello everyone, I'm Haruko from the National Institute for Environmental Studies, Japan. And thank you for inviting me to the such a nice seminar. Then I start my talk. So let me talk about my short introduction. I graduated from Kyoto University, getting PhD in 2014 and moved to the present workplace, National Institute for Environmental Studies as a researcher in 2015. My main study subjects are island biology, molecular ecology, conservation biology, and plant-animal interactions. I conducted population genetics and metabarcoding dietary studies for land birds and seabirds in oceanic islands, and now working on the seed dispersal studies by the pigeons in oceanic islands habitat. So here are my study sites in Japan. I worked at the Ogasawara Island here when I was a PhD student, and now mainly work at Is Island here. And also I have experience of research activities about the farmland birds around the Lake Kasumigaura here near my office. And this is my university. Yes. And today, I mainly talk about my ongoing seed dispersal study about inter-island seed dispersal by seed predator pigeons. And also have a short talks about the evolution of flying ability in a pigeon population in isolated islands and project strategy of pigeons on island habitats. Then I move to the first topic. The long distance seed dispersal is an essential event for plant colonization and vegetation development in oceanic island ecosystems. So far, various methods have been used to estimate long distance dispersal, that is abbreviated as LDD, promoted by wind, ocean current, and migratory birds, etc. Endozoochory by birds, the dispersal style of the plants to be eaten by birds, key factors for LDD, but it is rarely quantified due to difficulty for monitoring, except the case for the Vienna et al. Recently published the study. This is an interesting example of over-ocean seed dispersal by birds. The viable seeds from continent plants were found from the gut contents of migratory passerine birds hunted by falcons in Canary Islands. And some studies have pointed out the existence of non-standard dispersal events and that contribute to inter-island seed dispersal. Because the present plant distribution with archipelagos is not related to the specialized LDD syndromes of seeds. One of the possible candidates is seed predator birds, including pigeons and finches, which are an important component of oceanic island ecosystems. So pigeons are strong flyer and widely distributed in islands, including oceanic archipelagos, and the potential of long distance seed dispersal has been discussed for several previous studies. Furthermore, the inter-island movement of pigeons have been reported in several species, which may be important behavior for seed dispersal among islands. Today, I focus on two subspecies of Japanese wood pigeon, Columba janthina and Columba C.j.nitens. So they distribute only in remote islands around the Japanese main island and Korean peninsula, and also distribute in the Japanese main islands. So while the nominal subspecies, Columba janthina distribute widely in island Izu and Okinawa, including Izu and Okinawa area around the Japanese main island, and this subspecies, Columba janthina only distribute in Ogasawara Islands. And this is very remote oceanic islands, 1,000 kilometers southern from Tokyo. So although Japanese wood pigeons are basically seed predators, revealed by the several previous studies, but some small seeds remain in their feces. And seed dispersal within an island was indicated by previous studies. However, their potential to seed dispersal among island habitats has not been estimated. So previous studies show the two possible inter-island movement patterns of Japanese pigeons by genetic analysis and direct observation. That is, which are not frequent, and daily and massive movement between growth islands. So I will explain about two types of movement. So a wide range and seasonal movement of Japanese wood pigeons were indicated by sufficient gene flow, then the movement of banded individuals between the island groups, which are 150 kilometers apart in Ogasawara Islands. Also, the seasonal fluctuation of population size in each island indicated the movement of pigeons among islands. And other than the wide range movement, we observed daily and massive movement of nominal subspecies Japanese pigeons, Columba janthina, in each island. The movement was found between the Hachijojima and Hachijoukojima in its islands, which are about 4 kilometers apart. This graph shows the number of individuals moved between the two islands within a day. So in both directions, this indicates that more than 5,000 pigeons moved between the island in a day. This movement continues every day in specific season. So this is Hachijoukojima from the Hachijojima, and you can see the, sorry, be very small, but these are pigeons moving between the island like this. Then they arrived at Hachijojima. Yes. So pigeons usually move such as small groups, but we can observe their movement all the day just by sitting down here. And the reasons of such massive movement maybe in the difference of habitat conditions between the two islands. Hachijoukojima is uninhabited and any predators rather than life does not exist. We can find breeding nests in their breeding nest in the Hachijoukojima very easily. So the Hachijoukojima is while Hachijojima is inhabited and some potential predators such as whales and snakes exist. So that's why we get the Hachijoukojima maybe functioning as a breeding site and roost due to low degree of disturbances by humans and predators. So, but the island is very small and pigeons have to go Hachijojima to get full resources, so they have to move between the islands. So then the questions are, what are the two types of movement but the Japanese wood pigeons contribute in the island seed dispersal? And which one species can be dispersed by the pigeons between islands and may have an impact on island vegetations? So to answer the questions, we conducted field work on Hachijojima and Hachijoukojima. We set 5 transect and 1 census point here in the map. And all field surveys were conducted once a month throughout the year to evaluate seasonal shift of pigeon population in the island movement and fruiting phenology. At the census point, we counted, here, we counted the pigeon number of pigeons moving between the islands from sunrise to sunset. And each census lines We counted the number of pigeons and estimated the fruit abundances for all the fruiting trees, which fruits can be eaten by the pigeons. The fruiting phenology, seasonal change of pigeon population and movements were modeled by the generalized additive models. To detect seed dispersal by the pigeons, we collected pigeon feces from the on the census lines. We collected the feces of Japanese pigeon based on the morphological features, and finally identified the species by mitochondrial DNA sequences. Then we identified plant species of intact seeds included in the in total 218 pigeon feces, and a part of the detected seeds were used to viability test. So here are the results of seasonal shift on pigeon population, inter-island movements, and seed detection from feces. Above two figures show the population fluctuation population density in Hachijokojima and Hachijojima. As you can see, they increase in spring and summer and decrease in fall and winter and almost disappeared from the islands. And this figure is the season change of number of moved individuals between the islands. So the population density in each island seasonally fluctuated and shows the similar patterns with movement between the islands. So, and this figure shows this is the number of intact seeds detected from feces. The large number of intact seeds were found from pigeon feces when the pigeon density and movement frequencies were high. So high pigeon density, frequent movement, and seed detection in large number of seed detection in spring and summer, and mostly zero in fall and winter. So the result indicates the seasonality, wide range, and local movement of pigeons. So, pigeons come to Hachijojima and Hachijokojima from the other islands, from the East Islands in spring. Then they start breeding mainly in Hachijokojima and move between the Hachijojima and Hachijokojima here. So we can observe a lot of pigeon moving the islands. And in the breeding season, and after that, after breeding season, they move to other island in fall. So these types of movements can promote inter-island seed dispersal. Actually, intact seeds were detected from 44.5% of 218 fecal samples, and seeds of major plant species detected from pigeon feces show moderate levels of viability in tetrazolium tests compared with controls. They are 69.2% in morals species and 88.2% in Acerlasas speciosa and 92.9% in Eura japonica. Then it is revealed that the pigeons can disperse viable seeds. We estimated the dispersal distances based on the estimated retention time and the models suggested by Yoshikawa et al. And flying speed that were observed in the movement count. The dispersal distances ranged from 123 kilometers to 332 kilometers based on the models, with a range of estimated retention time from 2.57 and to 6.92 hours, and flying speed as 48 kilometers per hour. So this result cover these dispersal distances cover the neighbor islands from Hachijojima and even cover the entire islands in maximal estimates. And furthermore, so seeds of Cersus speciosa and Ilex integra were detected from pigeon feces in Hachijokojima here with that floating records on the study period here. So the Ilex integra distribute in both islands, but they are in Hachijokojima and we could not find the floating on this island. And this Cerus speciosa has no distribution records in Hachijokojima. So this may be a direct evidence of seed transfer from Hachijojima to Hachijokojima. So, however, plant species dispersed by pigeons were limited to only 6 species. And this figure shows the frequencies of intact seeds of each plant species, and these numbers are seed diameters. So, as you can see, 94% of the seeds detected from pigeon feces were from plants with small size seeds, less than 1.5 millimeters in diameter. This may indicate that only small and resistant seeds that could pass pigeon stomach can be dispersed. So these figures visualize overlap of floating phenology of each plant with pigeon movement frequencies based on the standardized score and GM models. This is somewhat confusing, but you can see the colored area indicate the degree of overlap of pigeon movement, discovered and floating phenology of each plant species. So the floating phenologies of these 6 plant species were dispersed by pigeons overlapped with pigeon movement. Then they are possibly transferred between the 2 islands. However, only these three species with small seeds diameters fruited in both islands. So we can find stable vegetation of these 3 plants in 2 islands. On the other hand, the Ilex integra, as I said before, this species distribute in both islands, but fruited only in Hachijojima on the study period, and other 2 species distribute only in Hachijojima, not in Hachijokojima. So this may indicate only small seed plants that frequently disperse between the island and develop the stable vegetations. Others can be dispersed by the pigeons, but did not develop vegetation in Hachijokojima. This may be due to the low frequency of seed transportation from Hachijojima to Hachijokojima due to the seed destruction by the pigeon stomach, and also unsuitable habitat condition on this Hachijokojima to develop the vegetation. And of course, factors other than pigeons should be considered to understand the vegetation structure of the 2 islands, but at least the positive contribution of inter-island seed dispersal by pigeons may be limited to specific plants with small seeds. So as a conclusion, so highly mobile pigeons, which have been thought to be a seed predator, contribute inter-island seed dispersal within oceanic archipelagos. But the effect on vegetation development may be limited to specific plants with small seeds. Populations of other plant species may be affected by the pigeons' seed predation rather than seed dispersal, maybe. And then further studies are required to reveal how seed dispersal and predation contribute to the colonization and evolutionary processes of plants in oceanic island ecosystems. So this is my topic of the main topic about the seed dispersal, inter-island seed dispersal, and then move to the next topic. So I talked about the ecological role that the seed dispersal of inter-island movement by the island pigeons. However, it is wondering that whether pigeons can continue inter-island movement in the future. So because there is a famous island rule to produce flightless birds. So this bird, dodo. So this is the ultimate style of flightless birds. But even the blind birds, flying birds, recent study indicated that pigeons are having the feature of flightless birds, that is smaller flight muscles and longer legs, in some remote insular conditions with low risk of predation and competition. So then how is the situation in the Japanese pigeons? The two subspecies, the janthina and nitens, are clearly distinguished by genetic and morphological features. As you see, the nitens has a red head and easily to be identified. Although both of them live in islands, oceanic islands, and but the habitat conditions are quite different. So the Ogasawara Islands, the habitat of the Columba nitens is highly isolated, and there are no native terrestrial predators. So it's highly remote and highly insular conditions for pigeons. Actually, this is a typical foraging behavior of the Columba nitens. So they prefer foraging on the ground like this. So until the discovery of the inter-island movement, the pigeons have been thought to be poor at flying. So because they mostly spend their time on the ground. And the result of the genome-wide SNP analysis and whole genome analysis, the estimated divergence time of the two subspecies was 170,000 years ago. This seems to be sufficient time to develop different features of flying ability compared with other species reported in the previous studies. However, the result of the population genetic analysis, the genetic structure showed the sufficient gene flow among islands due to individual movement in each subspecies. This is the result of the individual genetic clusterings using the mixture software. So yeah, both of the population, Columba janthina in East Island and C.j.nitens in Ogasawara Island showed no clear genetic differentiation among islands. So they can keep gene flow and by individual movement among islands. And also surprisingly, the comparison of the feature shape and size keeps index and position the longest private feather, which the indicator of dispersal ability of migratory birds, showed the higher flying ability of the nitens. So nitens looks like to be adaptive for the long distance flight rather than janthina. So the results indicate that Columba janthina may have maintained their flying ability in remote insular condition for frequent and or long distance movement among islands in Ogasawara Islands, very remote and highly isolated conditions. Maybe this may be due to unstable foraging condition in small island habitat. So they have to move among islands to get food resources to complement the lack of food resources in single islands. But the detailed exact reason is still not clear. And how is the foraging strategy of the pigeons? So we conducted metabarcoding data analysis of the Columba janthina in 2 island habitats in Ogasawara Islands. The metabarcoding recently accepted an accurate method to determine animal diet. So we collected feces, extract DNA, and amplify the target region to obtain a large number of sequences using the next generation sequencer, and then detect diet by comparing with the difference of plant database. So this is a seasonal diet composition of the pigeons represented by the sequence proportion plants. So we believe that most of the sequences are from the fruits eaten by pigeons, while the plant part is not identified of DNA. So most of them are from the fruits because we revealed that by the microhistological analysis. So, and this is a sequence proportion, and the number of parentheses shows number of samples. And the result shows that various kinds of plant texture detected from pigeon feces, like this, and the result clear seasonality and difference between island of pigeons diet in Chichijima and Hahajima was detected. We also checked the fruiting phenology in each island habitat, composition of fruiting trees and fruiting abundance, which are estimated by the 3-step scoring, differ between Chichijima and Hahajima. So fruiting abundance fluctuated seasonally and annually. And we also found the consumption of introduced plants in the specific season when the preferable native fruits are rare. So the result of GMM analysis showed the selectivity of pigeons for rabbit-rich fruits in both islands, as well as the importance of fruits quantity in Hahajima. So they may indicate that pigeons prefer high quality fruits, but flexibly change diet, including introduced plants, according to food resource availability. So each topic shows the interesting morphological feature of island pigeons, but further investigations are required to reveal the relation among pigeon movements, foraging strategy, and its ecological role, including the seed predation and seed dispersal. So it is important to understand the evolutionary processes of oceanic island ecosystems and their effective conservation. So, okay, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Haruko, for your
Thank you.
talk. Well, this is an amazing topic. Do we have new questions? Let's see. I don't see questions from the guests, but yes, I was especially amazed by this. How would happen? What will be the consequences of losing a species for example, like the dodo, to the dispersal of these trees. Like it seems that for long flying doves, when you have extinction of these doves, you can have effects on the obvious effects on the distribution, the dispersal of the associated plant species. But what will happen for the species that have very restrictive distribution too? Like, for example, the dodo, or maybe there are other doves that are also endemic from specific islands.
So do you mean that relation some species interacted with dodo?
I'll try to be clearer. I'm sorry. So what I was interested is in, as you showed to us, there are long distance dispersal species that carry with them several species of plants, the seeds of several species of plants.
Yes.
For species that are endemic of a specific island, for example, the extinct dodo, what do you think there will be the consequences for the plants that are associated to this narrowly distributed species?
Narrow distributed species.
If you have an endemic species from one island,
yeah,
and you have this species extinct,
yeah,
what do you think could be the consequences for the local plants that are also being dispersed by this species, by a species that is not so long dispersal? I guess that there should be maybe, I don't know, some populational or some small scale effects, but I can't imagine how it could be, or if there is anything studied about that.
So I mean, understand very, but so consequences of. So you mean that some locals, some species with narrow distribution area, is it to be extinct?
If we lose a dove that is an endemic of an island, and this dove is dispersing
a specific... the ability to disperse among the island.
I think he's asking about the consequences of losing dispersers, like dodo or like pigeons from your study system.
Study system. Yeah. So dodo is very specific case, but in the case of birds, it is so that flying is very costly usually for all the birds, but in the island, in the oceanic island, there are usually no terrestrial predators because they cannot arrive from the continent, the oceanic island, without flying ability. So they can live without escaping from the predators, and also there are the species richness very low usually in oceanic islands because very limited species can arrive from the continent to the oceanic island. So they don't have any competitions in the island. So and also if there are a lot of sufficient food resources to live in the single island, they don't need to fly.
Great.
Another island. Yeah. So in this case of the dodo and other flightless birds, the flying long distance flight is more costly and risky in the isolated islands. So surrounded by the sea. So it is for them. It is more adapted to stay in island by losing the flying ability. So if there are sufficient food resources and like there are no small risk of predation, Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
Totally.
So sorry.
I have more questions now from the assistants. So we can start with Pedro Jordano. He's thanking you again for this interesting talk. And sorry, no, it wasn't his question. So this question is from Justine Levaillan. She says, you said that pigeons disperse more among islands because of humans disturbance. So humans disturbance make pigeons to disperse more. Did you observe a change of consumer behavior associated with a change in the plant composition among the island?
Yes, yes, it's interesting question, and I'm thinking that, I think that the movement pattern can be changed by the human disturbance. So in the case of, actually in the case of Hachijojima and Hachijokojima, where we see the lot of pigeon moved in each island. So this may due to the this may due to the Hachijokojima is very comfortable, remain with that predator, with the predators and human beings. So I think they get together on the specific island. So, and other islands are seriously disturbed by the humans. And there are many predators, including the introduced species. So the present situation already modified by the present habitat condition already modified the humans. And so they may select the adaptive movement patterns.
But Haruko, I think she's asking about the diet. If the diet is the diet of the pigeons, if the diet is changing across the islands because the vegetation is different as well. Or for instance, the species are always choosing eat the same plants in every island, or they are tracking the abundance of the most abundant plants, for instance, these kind of things.
Yes. And for there are sort of selectivity of the pigeons, but they change the diet among islands.
Okay.
According to the food resource availability in each island. So my study is still not well connected to the pigeon foraging strategy and movement pattern, but I think that pigeons have to move around among island when the route is becomes when the sufficient food resources cannot be obtained in single island, they move to another island and eat the preferable food resources there.
Thank you, Haruko.
Yeah, also I think that they have both of selectivity for the high quality food, but also flexibly change their diet according to their habitat condition. That is part of the foraging strategy, I think.
What I did not get is if there is a change with the plant's composition on the island. Like we're talking about diet, but I think that Justine is more interested in changes in the actual plant composition of the island, the actual vegetation.
Yes, by human disturbance.
Oh, so it's mainly disturbed by humans, not necessarily by the consumer behavior of the doves.
Consumer behavior with the pigeons may. Sorry, do you mean that the pigeons' consumption can change the vegetation?
Okay, so there is a change in plant composition, but it could be in parallel affected by humans and pigeons' behavior. Is that?
Maybe it's possible, I think. So I think that pigeons can disperse small seeds, but they predate large seeds. Yeah, so I think the pigeons become very high density in the specific island like Hachijokojima. So they consume various fruits and some of them are dispersed. So these plants have a benefit to be dispersed by pigeons, but many other species are destroyed their seed by pigeons. So maybe I think pigeons causing some effect of vegetation development in the islands. So and yes, also the potential for resources have been modified by humans a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So we have an actual question from below. I actually saw this question from Pedro Jordano. So he wants to know if you do have evidences that extinctions of other species might have limited and collapsed the dispersal of some plants. So whether the extinction of even far-reaching, far dispersal pigeons have limited and collapsed the dispersal of some plants.
Have limited. So sorry, one more time, please. Have extinction
of pigeons, like
of
other pigeons.
Extinction of highly mobile pigeons.
Yeah,
for
if
the
you
limitation of the dispersal of the plants.
Yeah, if you have discovered that any species or any plant species has been collapsed because there is no anymore the pigeon that is dispersing the seeds, for instance.
No. So where? Yeah, I don't know about the dispersed the plants extinction, but plants dispersed by the highly mobile pigeons between the island. But there are some researches reported about the effect of plants highly related to dodo foraging or some other extinct pigeons. But mostly I think many studies not so much focused on the effect of pigeons' entire movement for the interactions, including the long distance dispersal among islands. Not well understood, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is another question by Gemma Trigos. Have you seen that, August?
Yep. So Gemma points that that some graphs show differences in dispersal rates among different sizes of seeds and also among different species. Do you think that this is the result of feeding preferences of the pigeons?
Difference among the seeds. Yes, my graph shows that. So do you mean that the graph? Sorry. This graph. So the the species composition of dispersed seeds. Yes, and of course, based related to pigeons' food preferences. Yes, but I'm so sorry I cannot show the data, but also many of many of there are data of pigeons' consumption for many other plant species having larger seed. Their seed cannot be detected from their feces. So the graph shows the only small seeds were detected, but these are what should I say that? Basically, the results, the plant seeds that detected from pigeon feces, those from the pigeon preferable plants. but only small seeds, small size seeds can be passed through the pigeon stomach. So, and there are, it doesn't mean that pigeon selectively eat the fruits with small seeds.
Mhm.
Yes, there are many other plants preferred by pigeons, but their seeds cannot be detected from pigeon feces. So yeah, I think that it is important to evaluate which species predated by pigeons and which species can disperse by the use of other dietary analysis using metabarcoding of my whole histology. Yeah, to evaluate the effect of predation and dispersal. Yeah.
Gema, thanks, Haruko. Gema also refers to the graphs in the next slide.
Next slide. This is?
No, the next one.
Mm.
Yeah, this one. No, sorry, the previous. Yeah,
I
sorry.
think it's the previous one.
Oh, previous?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was, as just to remember, so she wanted to know whether these differences in dispersal rates among different species would be the result of feeding preferences of the pigeons. But it's fine. Oh yeah, but she says that it's fine. She already got the answer that she was looking for.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because this is
Maybe the
only.
answer, yes, I think the answer is not similar to yes that I said before. Yeah.
Yeah. She's satisfied with the answer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Haruko. I have a last question. It's about the plant side. So do you have information on the genetic structure of the plant populations to show that this seed dispersal, long distance seed dispersal is effectively dispersing the seeds? I mean, that the genetic variability of the plants is also related with the distance to the other islands. Do you have any information on the plant genetic structure?
Yeah. That is a thing I would like to do in the future.
Okay. Very well.
Change data of genetic structure now. Yeah, there are several studies, actually, but not sufficient. The data is not sufficient to reveal the effect of long distance dispersal by the bird among islands, I think. Yes, I think it's interesting to try. Yes.
For sure.
Very good. I don't see any more questions. Do you have the assistants any more questions, please?
Yeah, Pedro is asking more.
Oh.
But he said that my question referred to the extinction of the two other Columbia species in Japan, which are considered now extinct, Columbia versicolor and Columbia jouji. But I understood the answer. Thank you.
Okay. Japanese next. So their ecology is very unknown, but their body size are larger than the present Japanese pigeons. So maybe they may contribute a larger seed dispersal, but it's not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much to everybody. So I think this is all. If you have the students, please remember to put your data in the chat of the seminar, so we can pass you your specific certificate of assistance. And I want to thank again Haruko and thank you everybody for your patience. The YouTube platforms render several problems that can only be addressed at the time.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me to the seminars, and sorry for my poor English. Sorry.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haruko, for coming. So I also wanted to remind the students to send us an email for sending the certificate. Okay. Thank you so much, Haruko.
Yeah. Thank you.
Enjoy
Bye,
your
everybody.
stay in Canary. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.